Greetings of the hour, students. Hope you all are keeping well and very much involved in your academics with our online support. Today, I will start with the first chapter of history of class 7, that is, the medieval years and its sources. I will give you a brief introduction on the subject. The subject could broadly be categorized under three heads: prehistory, proto-history, and history. Now, what is prehistory? Prehistory is the period of time before written records existed. That is, it is that period of time when the ancient men didn't know the art of writing, but civilization existed that time. What is proto-history? Proto-history is a period between prehistory and history. During this time, a culture or a particular civilization had not developed the writing skills, but other cultures or civilization in other part of the world already noted their existence in their own writings. And what is history? We all know that the study of past events, particularly in human affairs, things related to human beings, are termed as events of history. Now, this history can be again divided into three main heads: ancient, medieval, and modern history. Ancient history marks the period before 800 CE. Medieval history marks the period from 800 CE to 1800 CE. And modern history is the period which is 1800 CE onwards, that is, and it still is existing now, that is the period in which we are belonging till date, 1800 CE onwards till date. Now, in class 7, we will deal with the history of the medieval India, which existed from 800 CE to 1800 CE. This medieval period in India, of history in India, can again be divided into two: early medieval and late medieval. Early medieval is the period from 800 CE to 1200 CE, and late medieval is the period from 1300 CE to 1800 CE. Now we will discuss the different names for India. Throughout different ages, India has been referred to by different names. We will discuss some. Jambudvipa. This was the name to India given by ancient people as mentioned in Buddhist texts and Puranas. Another name was Bharatvarsha. This we are all familiar with. It existed during the Rig Vedic time. Another name existed for India as Aryavarta, that is the land of the Aryans. This name was given around 150 BCE to the northern part of India. Hindustan, this name you all know, is derived from the word Indus. River Indus exists in India. From that we got the name Hindustan. Hind, this name was used by the Arabs. And India, at present the name which we all use, was used by the British. Now I will discuss with you the important kingdoms of the medieval period. The important kingdoms of the north were the Rajputs, the Palas, the Pratiharas, the Senas. Then in the Deccan region there were the Chalukyas, the Rashtrakutas. In South India we had Pandyas, Cholas. We also had in North India the Delhi Sultanate, the Mughals, the Chauhans. In Deccan we had the Vijayanagar kingdom. We had the Pallavas in South India. So all these were the important kingdoms of the medieval period that existed in India. Now what are the features of the medieval period? The first and foremost, the most important feature was the struggle for power between the Palas, the Gurjaras, the Pratiharas and the Rashtrakutas. The struggle for power was often termed as tripartite struggle. It was the struggle for occupying the fertile land of Kannauj. Kannauj was located in the river Ganga-Yamuna Doab region. It had a lot of prospect for trade and commerce and development and agriculture. It was located in the fertile Doab region of river Ganga and Yamuna, and that is why there was a struggle for power to occupy this particular place, Kannauj. Then another feature was the emergence of several Rajput kingdoms. Rajputs came from Rajasthan and several kingdoms emerged during this time. Extensive clearing of land for agriculture and human settlement. Forests were cleared up and it was replaced by agricultural land and human settlement. Then arrived the Turks from the northwest. And the Delhi Sultanate was established. All this happened in the medieval period, students. Now, in the meantime, the society was becoming more complex with time. The so-called upper class became oppressive day by day, and the underprivileged section was in a very bad condition. So to make them aware and give them some relief from this oppression of the upper class came the existence of Bhakti and the Sufi movement. This happened in the medieval period. Then the Mughal Empire was established. The Marathas and the Sikhs came into existence. Their power rose. Trade and economy increased. Arrival of European companies also happened. And emergence of cities came into being. Now we we come to the next point, the sources of history. There are different sources of history. They are the literary sources and the archaeological sources. These are the two main heads. Under the literary sources comes the textual part, that is the religious text and the secular text. Under the archaeological division, we have coins, artifacts, monuments and inscriptions. Coins are also called numismatic sources. That is, numismatic means anything related to currency. Artifacts means all the objects that the civilization once existed, used, their remains, when found out, excavated, those are called the artifacts. That is the objects, the utensils, the tools and implements, ornaments, toys, all this falls under artifacts. And what are inscriptions? Inscriptions are the writings that were excavated, writings done using ancient scripture like Devanagari, Pali and obviously Sanskrit. Now, again we have sources like monuments. Those come under archaeological sources. You can see books fall into the literary sources and coins are also archaeological sources, which are also called numismatic sources. Here I want to mention some important literary sources from where we come to know much about the history of India. The chronicles, the autobiographies, the biographies, accounts of foreign travelers, farmans, dramas and stories. Now what are chronicles? Chronicles are actually the stories which are written by the court poets or sometimes by the foreign travelers also. The court poets used to stay under the rule of the particular emperor or the king, and normally they had to write about the wealth, the prosperity, the valor of the king or the emperor, his achievements. So these were called the chronicles. From these writings we come to know about those earliest societies and their rulers. Autobiographies. Autobiographies are the life history of that particular person only. The person who writes his own life history are autobiographies. Babar's Tuzuki Babudi is an example of an autobiography. And life history of a particular person written by another person is called a biography. Chand Bardai's Prithviraj Raso is an example of that. It was written about Prithviraj Chauhan. Accounts of foreign travelers. Ibn Battuta, Thomas Roe, Marco Polo, they had left a lot of important information. From there we come to know about the medieval history of India. Farmans, royal orders issued by different rulers. From there also we come to know about the society, the economy, the polity of that particular period of time. Vamandeva's Katha Sarit Sagar depicts earliest society of the medieval period. I've given you the meaning of some terms which you might want to know, that is manuscript, numismatic source, epigraphy, chronicle. I think this will help you. Manuscripts are handwritten text. In those period of time, those manuscripts before paper came into existence actually, those were written on palm leaves, that is the leaves of trees also. Hope you have understood the lesson, students. We'll meet soon again. Thank you.